Hi friends, it's Claire from Scrappy Nerd UK and I am back. I thought I would share with you an embellishment cluster video. This is a bit of a special one. I haven't done one of these videos before, but since I've been MIA for a little while with my scrapbooking due to holiday, Christmas, work, everything, I thought I'd get in my craft room and film some embellishment cluster videos. So I've done this one. There is another one coming up as well with some DIY frames, but this is part one of two, I suppose. So I make 15 embellishment clusters in this video for you, just to give you some inspiration to really help you with your scrapbooking, really. Really. I don't know what's wrong with my reallys today. So all I'm doing is I've just grabbed some Project Life cards that I've got floating around. These are from Echo Park, and I'm just using these along with a few other bits as the base to my embellishment cluster. So on this one here, I've cut out that typewriter from another card. I've layered it on top of another card, and I just added some gold glitter stickers. Really, that's as simple as that cluster is. Now I am finding that I am currently really short of time for scrapbooking, because we are hopefully selling and moving shortly. So I've been doing some bits around the house, which has really been taking up a lot of my time, along with work and stuff. So I'm finding that if I pre-prepare these are great then to help me do a really quick layout for when I've only got like half an hour. So it's perfect. So on there as well, I just cut down the sentiment from one card, and I layered it even on top of the other. So the bits and bobs that I've got sort of around my desk, I've got that pot to the left, which is just chocker full of random embellishments that I've gathered over time that aren't from any particular kit or collection. And there's probably, I don't know, 1,000 bits in there, and I'm not even exaggerating. So I want to try and get those used up. I've got the circles from, it was a My Mind's Eye pack, with the gold foil, and then I've got some bits left over from my quirky kit, who I'm on the design team for, and just, yeah, some other random sort of chipboard bits and stuff that don't belong to a particular collection. Now personally, I do tend to scrap with collections or from a kit club, so anything else extra that I've got lying around gets neglected quite often. So yeah, this is a great way to use it up and help with a scrapbooking those layouts when I don't really have that much time to sit there for an hour or two procrastinating over one layout. So anywho, back to what I'm doing here. So I'm going to use some tags in here. Tags are a great way of building up an embellishment cluster. So I've cut that file tab folder thing out of under the Project Life card, and I'm just going to use a full size, a 3x4 one that says notes, and cover up the journaling section. And I bought these stamps actually quite recently. These are they're planner stamps, but they work perfectly on scrapbooking as well. I'm just going to use this little star cluster one, which I absolutely love. I know that stamp itself is going to get quite a lot of use out of it. So I'm just I'm going to make the stamps go from the top right down to the bottom left, with leaving plenty of space in the middle for my journaling. Now I don't do a great deal of journaling on my layouts as it is, but this here then will be, when I want to get some journaling onto a layout, this will be the card that I grab. So just adding some black and white twine to the top of that tag there, and I do a mixture of different knots on my tags. So sometimes I tie it like this. Actually, let's see how many you can count, how many different ties on a tag that I do. And go ahead at the end of this video actually and let me know which your favourite cluster is. I'm undecided whether I prefer the tag ones or whether I prefer the Project Life card ones. And that's that one done. So on to the next one. So I've got these vellum pieces, and I bought, it was from Hobbycraft. It was a Jen Hadfield ephemera pack. And I bought 2 of them because I think they were on special for £2. So I bought 2 of them, and they are just sat there because they're not part of a collection. So I'm just using my little, look at my little trimmer. My mum and dad got me this for Christmas and I love it. So I'm just using that just to cut it down so it's the same size as this white tag. And I'm just bringing some washi in. Great way to use some washi up. I have a new series coming up for you. Washi Wednesdays it's called. And I have a series of, I think it's about 15 videos. So every Wednesday there'll be a layout inspired by using washi tape. So I know you've all got it kicking around in your craft room or your craft space, and you've probably got just as much as I have, and you would never ever use that amount of washi. So yeah, that series is designed to inspire you to get your washi tape out and get it being used. So they are all going to be scrapbook layouts to keep you inspired. So this tag here is actually quite simple. So I've just used my new little hole reinforcer to cut out a gold glitter hole reinforcer. It doesn't quite cover the brown one that was there, but to be honest, it doesn't really bother me. So next, I had this little design block, and I think it's a 4x4, and I bought it for £1.50 from the works. And at the time, I thought, oh, that's brilliant, I'm going to use that. And then it's been sat in my stash for probably a year, and I haven't touched it. And I thought, oh, this would be perfect for me to use this on. So I'm just using the 4x4 as the base of the card, and I'm just adding this tag onto that card. So this tag here, I think this just came from a cut apart sheet, and if you can see my hand shaking, it's because my husband came in my craft room and gave me a neck massage, because this particular day that I filmed it, my neck was a bit stiff. So that wasn't the camera shaking, that was my arm shaking. I didn't realise that was so obvious on the film. So this card was from an old Dear Lizzie cut apart sheet, and I just had it kicking around in my stash. And I'll tell you what, it was so fulfilling to get some of this stuff used up. As I said, I did 15 of these embellishment clusters in the end, and they're all big ones. And there's nothing wrong with doing these on a smaller scale. So if you don't, if you don't want anything as big, then you don't have to have the 4x4 backing card. You could just embellish on top of the tag if you wanted. That will work just as well. And then just adding in these chipboard pieces from an old, I'm not too sure what collection it was from, to be honest. It was just some stuff I had kicking around in a box. And just adding these little word stickers on. I think these are Cosmo Cricket ones. Now I've got my little, I can't think of what it's, Embossing Buddy, that's what it's called. And that stuff there, it's great for taking static off of surfaces before you emboss, but on that particular occasion it actually does take the stick off the back of a sticker as well. So where I want to store my embellishment clusters, obviously don't want half of the stick hanging off and sticking to anything else. So I just use that to get rid of the adhesive. So next on to this one here. So I'm just using 2 of those 4x4 cards and layering them on top of each other. And I'm going to use this Hello mirrored piece here. And this was left over from a quirky kit. And as I said, it's great just to use these pieces up. So where you've got them, and I'm sure you've all got them, a random box of embellishments that you don't think will ever get used, or not sure how to use them. This is a great way. So just grab some tags, grab some Project Life cards if you've got them, grab some random ephemera, some chipboard, any chipboard pieces actually as well that may be left over from a full 12x12 chipboard sheet. Just grab them, get them used up, colour coordinate if you need to. So put your colours together if if that's what you'd prefer to do. I'm quite happy to sort of mix and match and add some different colours in here. So like the yellow flower, the pink heart and the blue little banner. It's fine. It doesn't bother me, and I'm sure there'll be and because I scrap a lot on white as well, any sort of embellishment clusters, I'll find a photo to match it. So there is, I've lost count now. I can't even think of how many I've done. 4, 5 maybe. So I'm just using just the circles on this one to create another cluster. So I'm just dragging out some of the circles, and there was some gold stars in there as well. So I'm just going to layer these up on top of each other to create a little cluster, and I'm just going to use my tiny attacher to staple those together and make a little bit of a feature as well, the staples, by crossing them over. And then I find this little chipboard piece, and I do add some wet glue on the chipboard because it does have a tendency of falling off. I didn't mean to do that, managed to get the glue everywhere, but hey ho. So I add that chipboard piece, and then I add my trusty Tim Holtz tiny word stickers, because everything seems finished with those little things. And again, just taking the stick off the back to stop that from sticking to anything else. And there we are. And then on to the next one. So I'm just going to layer up some tags for this one. So these tags here, again, they were on a bigger cut apart sheet. I cannot tell you what collection they are from. They're from an older one, I know that. So yeah, I'm just going to layer these up. And then I just found this little rubber You and Me charm, which was from a quirky kit. I think it might have been from an Amy Tan collection, if my memory serves me right. I should know that because I'm Amy Tan's biggest fan, so I'll be embarrassed if that's wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's from an Amy Tan collection. And just sort of going through this ephemera box of random stuff, and I come across this gold foil word that says today, and because I want to extend it out beyond the tags, I use that. So next I just punch out some hearts with this gold glitter paper, which I do quite often when something looks unfinished. What I should have done here is put some enamel dots, on, but I didn't have them to hand, so I thought I'd finish it with these little gold hearts, which are just as cute. And just bringing in some twine on this one. So what I decide, because there's 2 tags, well there's 3 actually, but there's 2 of the bigger tags, I decide to add two lots of twine through the holes. So I'll go with a lighter pink and a darker pink, which matches the colours in the tags. And yeah, I decided to change my mind. So this one here, I just do a loopy knot and cut that off, and I just do the same with the other one as well. I probably should have cut this out to save you watching the boring bits of this. So I hope you've all been keeping well. As I said, I know I've been MIA, but I've been back in my craft room trying to film a few videos. I have still got some other ones that I did before Christmas that I do need to finish off editing for you guys. And I do promise to get my channel a lot more active this year and keep the videos flowing for you. So back to what I am doing here. So again, I've just layered up a couple of Project Life cards, pulled in this pulled in this tag from Heidi Swap. Again, this just random ephemera piece that says today. I don't know why there's so many ephemera pieces that say today in the box of ephemera that I've got, but the colours work really well on this and this camera as well. So I'm making this sort of teal this teal cluster, just keeping it around the sort of same colour palette. And I added that little purple flower to the right hand side, and I needed some more purple to offset it as well. So I found this big flower piece of ephemera and just added that in as well. And these little foam shapes, these are brilliant. These are not going to last me that long at this rate, but it's great because they're being used up. So yeah, finishing this one off just with some Tim Holtz tiny word stickers, and that's a bit of a bigger one. So I'll film some layouts using these as well, so you can actually see them in use. So here, just as I was sort of ruffling through that box, I found these couple of just, what is it, 1x2 pieces, and I don't think I'll ever use them in any other situation. So layering them up along with that love and right here, and just popping them all onto that pink tag was a great way to use them. But I felt that I wanted to make the whole piece a lot bigger, so I decided just to mount it onto a white tag, and I do just that. And again, just taking out the twine that comes with those tags. I think I got those tags from Hobbycraft, and I do need to go and top up my tag collection, because after doing quite a few of these, and I was running low anyway. Yeah, just finishing off with some more of these little gold foam shapes. There we are. And just some twine through that loop as well. And if you're anything like me, I've got loads of twine as well that all needs not using up, but I need to start getting through as much of it as possible. And I just added, for no reason at all, I just added a couple of staples in there just to add another bit of interest. So I'm just looking at what I've got left here. So I try and do multiple cards all at the same time, and it works. So you'll have to bear with me on this. So I sort of flip backwards and forwards, but I'm hoping that it's slow enough for you to keep up with what's going on. So I'm just grabbing some random bits from this box, laying them down on the cards to see what works and what doesn't. So here, yeah, just found that little hello piece. So adventure hello. And this vellum piece from that Jen Hadfield pack. It says be the answer to someone's prayers. Now I'm never going to use that in any of my scrapbooking, so I use it as a layer piece behind the Project Life card, and I'm really happy with how this one turns out. Actually, I'm happy with all of my embellishment clusters. There isn't one that I sort of think, no, I wouldn't use. Everything in here I absolutely would use. At the end of the day, it's you know, ephemera pieces and tags and everything that I've chosen. So yeah, everything will get used. So yeah, just having a sort of look through all of this. All the bits here are from the Jen Hadfield one. So just adding these florals in to that tag, and just committing to it and sticking it down. And you can make your own Project Life cards this way as well, so you can do these in advance. So if you're a Project Lifer, it's something I definitely need to catch up with. You can actually make these in advance, but obviously what you need to do is make sure that you are containing it to the 3x4 or the 4x6 size, or the 3x3 or 4x4, depending on what size page protector you're working with. So I've just added that little balloon that says "Come fly away with me," I believe it says, and I'm just adding this chipboard piece with these hearts on. I'm pulling in the colours from the bottom of the card, and that's what I'm basing my ephemera on, to create some interest. So I just added those floral pieces to this card, and just pop a staple through that vellum piece that says "Happy Day," and I'm just going to cover it up the staple up with the butterfly. I quite like these staples for added interest, but on this occasion I covered it with the butterfly. So next I'm just going to bring in, I remembered I punched out some of those little gold hearts, so I'm going to start to use those on these cards as well. And because I don't want to use that tag as a tag, put twine through it, I'm just going to cover the circle with another heart. And that's probably one of my favourite cards actually, with the months of the year repeated, and just love those floral pieces. Still works really well. So I'm just adding a couple of those gold hearts. And then I think that the cards look, they look Project Lifey to me, because they are sitting in that 3x4 size. So I decide to come back in with that design block, and use a couple of the 4x4s to make the clusters a little bit bigger. You have to be mindful that you don't use too many of that shape, or you at least come over the edges of it, or do something different, which is, I do that on the next one actually, so I'll show you that in a second. But you do have to be mindful that you're not just using that same 4x4 shape, because then you'll end up with a lot of grid layouts, which is one of my favourite things to do, especially if I'm struggling with ideas and stuff. I always sort of go back to a grid layout, because I think with grid layouts it doesn't matter how many times you do a grid layout, it does always look different. So yeah, just added some stamping onto that one, and again that one was just looking a bit, I don't know, just missing something. So I found this paper which I love, and just added that on, making that sure it didn't sort of sit directly in the centre. And again, just adding in some tiny word stickers here, because why not? And I'm just going to get rid of the stick on the back of that as well. And just going to come in with some enamel dots, just matching the colours from the floral, with the choice of enamel dots that I use. So I use the pink, and I drag the yellow that you can see in the flower over to the right hand side of the card as well. And that was that one finished. And this one here, I'm just going to add some twine. I'm sorry, it's a little bit off screen. Try not to cut myself whilst I do that. And again, just some enamel dots onto this one as well. So I'm adding the blue, because I have gone with the blue colour. And again, finishing that off with a little tiny word sticker. So I mean, that could make a smaller embellishment cluster for you. So if you didn't mount it on the tag, that would have worked as well. And then I just found that little card, that the little banner piece that said noted. And I'm just trialing out some of the another 4x4 card. So it's almost like when you're matting and layering sort of papers behind your photo. I'm doing a very similar thing here with the embellishment clusters, and that's what I've done there. So I've taken the card, and just to create a bit of interest, I have done some torn edges, and that takes it away from being that solid 4x4 size again. Again, some tiny word stickers, and I don't do anything else to that card. And then finally, just finishing this one off, I just add in some red enamel dots, and that's just to pull the red colour from the flower on the top left just into the centre of that card as well. And again, that creates another journaling spot, that one there, and a tiny word sticker. And yeah, we'll just go through them all. So number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, bit of a big one, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. So thank you all very much for watching. Please give this video a massive thumbs up. Your support means so much to me. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, and I'll see you all for my next video. Bye!